So Mother Devahuti is requesting Lord Kapila to speak about birth, death, and so that she becomes detached from the activities of this material world. And now she is requesting, please describe eternal time. Devahuti already has the understanding of eternal time. That is why she is asking. The word she is using is kalasya ishvara rupasya. Not that she does not know, she knows. And she is asking Lord Kapila to describe the effects of Kala. This is the way to spiritually make advancement. The spiritual way of making advancement is to hear from authorized sources. When you hear from authorized sources, it is not your thinking. It is the thinking of a Tattvadarshinaha. It is the thinking of a person who is seeing things as they are and they are describing. There is no mental speculation there. Everything is darshana for them. Tattva darshanaha. He sees the tattva and he describes. So when a person sees the tattva with his inner eyes and he describes, with the eyes of knowledge, when he sees the tattva and describes, then that hearing is very powerful. That hearing will plant in us also the darshana of those tattvas. This is a way of gaining knowledge. Gaining knowledge is not necessarily, may process it further, but not necessarily through the process of intellectualization, independent intellectualization. You have to take something into your system and then intellectualize to remove your ignorance. If you have submissive oral reception, full high quality submissive oral reception, then there is no need to intellectualize also, because the intelligent in that knowledge will automatically manifest by itself, will shine forth he simply receives the knowledge, receives the intelligence. So these are all not known. These are all very subtle processes by which one actually makes spiritual advancement. In the material world, there are so many processes of acquiring knowledge, the ascending process of acquiring knowledge, where knowledge is acquired through the senses. And then one engages his mind in connecting them and building up the picture of anything, picture of the truth as they think it is the truth. This is a process of intellectualization through which we have physics, we have chemistry, we have all these subjects that we know about, that we learn in our schools and colleges. The ascending process of knowledge. But the Vedic system of gaining spiritual knowledge is a descending process of knowledge. And for the descending process of knowledge, the method is oral submission, submissive oral reception. And I explained there's a meaning to that. You're hearing from an authorized source. It's an energy. Knowledge is also an energy. It is not just information. Of course, information is also today, modern science have classified it as energy. It's also kind of energy. But actually we know much earlier that it is an energy. So when you read Bhaktivedanta purport, actually there Prabhupada's energy is there in it, spiritual energy. The way he sees things with his inner eyes, transcendental eyes, Shastra Shakshu, that is what we are receiving it from him. And when you receive it, and what is it based on? It's all based on truth. Shastras are based on truth. And that there are two things about knowing. You can know truth and you can know that which is not truth. You can create, you cannot know that which is not truth because truth means it exists. So you can know truth as it exists, or you can create ignorance in our mind about things outside, what we see. So ignorance or illusion is in our mind. So mind is a very big factor which creates this barrier between the soul and the pure knowledge that is available in the Shastras. This is a reason that we need to repeatedly hear. It's not that Devahuti does not know these things. See? She's already telling what is the essence of it. Previous verse said, describe in detail for me and for people in general continual process of birth and death. For by hearing such calamities, we may become detached from the activities of them. By hearing that energy comes into us, the energy of detachment comes into us, which will melt the ignorance energy that is there, mental concoction that is there in our mind. Now, those who do not hear at all from the authorized sources, they are continuously in mental speculation. And what is the result of hearing and what is the result of not hearing? The result of hearing is one's consciousness gets purified, because when one touches the absolute truth, he becomes free from illusion. When he becomes free from illusion, everything becomes clear. Then his acting changes, his feeling changes, his thinking changes. When these things change from transient activities to devotional service, the result is that it's awakening of the soul and no more birth, death in this material world. And what is the result of those who do not hear? They go again to the darker regions. There is no guarantee. One may do even pious activities by understanding that this is the way time works. If you do good things, you will get good results, good birth, good education, good wealth. So let me engage in these activities. This is another kind of thinking that people can have, but still those things, even if they are good, there's no guarantee that this cycle gets repeated. One day, one life we may be Brahma, other life we may end up as a germ. That is the Abrahma Bhuvana Loka, Punaravartana Arjuna. Krishna says it. Up and down the living entity goes. It is very risky. So doing any good activities in order to get good results is not at all an intelligent solution. The intelligent solution is, what is my Swarupa? My Swarupa, I have to become free from birth and death. What is my eternal situation? So by hearing about Kala as an irresistible force that acts on every living entity, because these are all tattvas, these are all principles of existence. Kala is not illusion. This material world is not illusion. This is something which we have to understand as Vaishnavas. This material world is not illusion. Illusion does not exist. Illusion exists only for the observer. That is the definition of illusion. It's not that there is reality and there is illusion outside you. There is only reality outside us. And where is illusion? In the mind, in the perceiver. So Vaishnava says it's all Krishna. The world, Panchabhuta, everything is Krishna. Everything is reality because it is coming from God. Kala, it is a real force. I want to hear about Krishna's Kala. Kalasya Ishvara Rupasya. This Ishvara Rupasya, this Kala, it's not illusion. This body is not illusion. This changing body is not illusion. When I think I am this body, that is illusion. But this body is not illusion. Kala that is making it grow old is not illusion. It temporarily exists. It is a phenomena created by Krishna in this material world. Otherwise, why Bhagavata should talk about Sankhya philosophy, about the different elements and how they interact? Why Bhagavatam should talk? Bhagavatam is a book of absolute truth. So this is important for us to understand because a very big contamination is there, especially in India, because of the Mayavada school of thinking, school of thought, that there is something called illusion. There is something called illusion. For instance, this material world, as it appears, according to Mayavada philosophy, it is illusion. It doesn't exist. These walls, these things don't exist. But we say no, as long as it exists, Krishna has made it exist through the Kala. From this time to this time it exists. When Brahma's 100 years is over, then everything gets dissolved, everything goes back into Mahavishnu's body. But the essential energy of it goes back. That energy comes out and takes different forms. So that energy is absolute. And the forces that operate on energy to create all this variegatedness is all absolute Leela of the Lord. Creation, maintenance, annihilation is Leela of the Lord. So it is simply nothing but it is spiritual world. One part of the spiritual world, which just comes and goes. So this body is truth. I am truth. Krishna is truth. But how I map these things, I am this body, is false. I belong to this material world is false. This material world, the social world of these bodies of people, it is false. These are all that I create in my head. That is illusion. So becoming free from illusion means becoming free from mental concoctions and seeing things as they are. Krishna says, anyone who sees the soul and the super soul and the body has already conquered his mind. Because these are the simple truths that are there even now. For this, the first thing we need to understand in our thinking is there is a difference between a thing and the concept of the thing. Usually it is all merged in us. Spiritual intelligence begins like that. Take a pen. Pen and the idea of pen in your mind, they are different. Idea of pen in the mind is a concept. Pen is a reality. The idea of pen in the mind could be a reality, could be matching with a pen. Could be somebody who never knows what is a pen, he will think it is a stick. So his perception will be, here is a stick, plastic stick. So that is not whether my concept of a pen is not the thing. In the same way, this body is a truth. This body is me, is a concept. Actually, we are not troubled by the body. We are troubled by the bodily concept of life. According to the bodily concept of life, that body will be troubling us. If I think I am the body, then the body's pain is mine. If I don't think I am not the body, then the pain will be very minimal. Because of laws of karma, one has to suffer. That bondage is there. But the pain is highly reduced. Normal pain, not only you get your karmic pain, but you also amplify it with your mind. As per your karma, some pain will come to you. Say some bodily pain will come. Now bodily pain, there is a pain that is destined for you, it will come to you, let us say. Now your mind can amplify it by thinking I am the body. So you feel increased pain. Same thing with pleasure, amplified pleasure. So mind amplifies pain and pleasure because of I and mine. My pain, I am this body, it is my pain. If we simply learn how to manage this I, me, my, mine, then the illusion will collapse. False ego means that which is not me, I say it is me. That pleasure and pain that is not of my soul, I think it is mine. This body is mine. So at least one should understand that according to laws of karma, Kala is forcing us. It's not simply according to your choice. You cannot, I won't feel the pain. You cannot say. That pain, whatever has to come, it will come. But because the devotee understands that I have to bear the fruits of my karma. This is the will of the Lord. This is the scheme of the Lord. I have to submit myself. Even though I am not this body, I will feel the pain. Simply thinking like this will minimize the pain. Accepting pain will minimize pain. When you refuse to accept pain, pain amplifies. When you accept pain, pain almost only your residual karmic pain remains. Otherwise, your amplified pain is there. So much the mind does. Even modern psychology also says. You accept something, let's say somebody near and dear passes away. As long as you don't accept it, that pain will continue. If you accept, yes, he's gone. Yes, I accept this pain. I had to suffer this pain, is gone. Once it automatically the pain completely flattens out. But these are all things which are not solutions to the real problem. The solution to real problem is taking out, dissolving that I and me, my and mine from different situations, from our perception. That should be removed. Krishna and Krishna's pleasure. Everything is Krishna and Krishna's. Everything belongs to him. So very clearly, by hearing these instructions from a person who is realized, then that energy is transferred into our heart and our perception changes. I and me and my and mine is what? It's all perception. I told you it is not a real thing, it's a perception. Self-realization is nothing but clearing our perceptions. It is not then when you get self-realized, the walls will vanish, this world will vanish. No, it will not vanish. That's what the Mayavadis say. The famous guru who touched his disciple on his head and then everything vanished. The walls vanished, everything vanished. They say. You just imagine it, it cannot vanish. You did not create it to make it vanish. Kala exists, time exists, material energy exists, creation exists. The souls keep changing bodies from one body to another. But there is always a Brahma, there is always all the demigods in this material world. We keep changing from one body to another body, one family to another body. And then we keep on trying to get independent rasa in this material world. The living entity is going on and on and on in this cycle of birth and death. It is a reality. Self-realization does not eliminate these truths as illusion. God is unlimited, Krishna is unlimited, his existence is unlimited. We are always Anu. The other problem, other infinity is infinite creation exists. The material world, time, as Prabhupada says here, the time factor has no influence in the spiritual world. Actually, time has no influence on even materially speaking also, time has got deteriorating influence on the body. When it comes to knowledge, you will see that an older man is becoming wiser, isn't it? Just see indication. Knowledge is not influenced by time. And spiritual knowledge, not at all influenced by time. Body may be deteriorating, but as you grow older, as you chant more and more, you become wiser and wiser, your knowledge increasing. Everything else in the world with time is pulled down and deteriorating. But transcendental knowledge expands. So there is no influence of time on transcendental knowledge if we expand, because that comes under another time. That comes under divine energy of the Lord. Daivi Prakriti. Divine energy of the Lord means your heart is expanding in some direction. What is that direction? You're getting more and more transcendental knowledge. You're getting more and more enlightened. Your body may be getting more and more old. Body will continue to deteriorate more and more. But you are becoming wiser and wiser and wiser and wiser. That is the influence of transcendental knowledge. Any questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, I just want to clarify one thing which I perceived. Prabhu, this Mayavadi understanding of, as you said, that as soon as self-realization happens, they think that everything vanishes. And so is it exactly like that? Like I'm seeing this thing now, camera, And as soon as I put electron microscope between myself and some object, everything vanishes and I see only just atoms and everything. So is their perception is like this? Like there something like electron microscope, I'm speaking grossly, but certainly something they perceive something and they see is only atom, and they think in that direction. Is it like that, or I'm wrong, Prabhu?
No, this is all mental concoction. Bhagavatam says, vimukta maninaha. They go on, they go on repeating in their mind that these variegatedness don't exist, don't exist, don't exist, don't exist. Maninaha, that means in the mind's eyes they see. It is not what they see, what actually is there. What actually is there, you have to see. Wall, you have to see as wall. Unless you have a microscope, you cannot see the structure of even the wall of the granite. Correct? You need a microscope. So, according to them, there is no instrument between me and what I am seeing. Everything has vanished. It's not that I know I have some special instrument by spiritual advancement, so that I see things which are all right deep, what is there in it, which is different from all that is seen here. That's what you're saying. A deeper layer they are seeing. They could be seeing a deeper layer, and in the deeper layer all this will vanish. Only atoms will be there. Here air molecules are there. Here atoms are there. Ultimately it's all atoms, it's all energy. You don't know Mayavada philosophy for that. Modern physicists are saying. That's a relative truth. It's a fact. It's a fact. They are all atoms. Everything is atom. Everything is energy. E is equal to mc squared. It's proved also, scientifically proved also. Everything is energy. So you don't need self-realization to think like that. But if you want to collapse it, that means this eye should not see these things. Then not possible. These eyes are meant to see what it is designed to see. You will see Panchabhuta. The Lord's creation. That is the reason why the Lord has given special eyes to Arjuna to see the Vishwarupa. Even this material world itself in its entire expanse to see, because in my present material eyes, I can see what is here. But now Krishna is telling, I am going to show you the entire material universe, Vishwa Rupa. Right? Now how with my eyes, which is designed to see this hall with few feet away, how can I see the dimensions of the entire universe? Cannot. Therefore Krishna says, I will give you special eyes by which you can see. So, but eyes are required. That special eyes only you can see the Vishwarupa. This is Lord's scheme of things.
And Prabhu, as you said that two things are there. One is intellectualizing the thing, and one is actually dissolving that ignorance, whatever is there. So Prabhu, relatively, if the only way of dissolving that ignorance is by hearing through an authorized source, then where exactly fits our intellectualizing the things? Like, is it having some role or is it not important at all?
No, material intelligence has no role. As I said, when you submissively hear, intelligence is also another energy that also you receive. Intellectual energy is something that brings you total clarity and connection between everything. That total clarity and connection effortlessly will come to you. If I see this flower and I want to connect all the elements, right? If I am directly seeing it, yeah, this is connected like this connected, oh, beautiful structure, 108 petals and this and that and all that description. I can make a description, right? Now, without seeing it, I can intellectualize. Maybe this is a structure now. Maybe what? Maybe this is the truth. Maybe this is the truth. But suppose you have a source where he said this is the truth. You already have the intelligence, right? That is what this intelligence is also given to us. And we don't need to speculate to find out what is what. But our material intelligence becomes purified also when it vibrates with the spiritual intelligence. That means our intelligence becomes pure. Intelligence is intelligence. Now it is impure. It becomes pure. It will see things as they are.
Hare Krishna. That last Radhayatra day, you were telling that Udupi Krishna. You were telling that Udupi Krishna is expanded here on HKL. Some could not understand. Would you kindly tell me one more time? I could not understand that. Some past time about Udupi Krishna expansion here, something like that.
Yeah, Udupi Krishna is called as Anna Brahman, and Tirupati Srinivasa is called as Kanchana Brahman. Then Purandara Vitthala, like that, is there. So, this is what they say. There must be having some source. Madhvas, they say that. So, what I told there was, what I spoke was that this Krishna and Balaram, they were installed in Udupi. They were installed in Udupi. So, with churning rod and flute, exactly as a stick, exactly as in Udupi. The form is same. Is not, in the bending form holding a flute, a Shyama Sundara. He is in that form. So in that form we have installed him here, and they were installed in Udupi, and they were brought by flight, and then so they were worshipped in a rented place, and then they came in the Ratha from the rented place to this Hare Krishna hill into a small hut which we built. So from there, today, so many things have happened. So I connected the Akshaya Patra, distribution of unlimited prasadam, to the Leela of Udupi Krishna, the deity of Udupi Krishna.
Akshaya Patra, how we connected, bro? Akshaya Patra, that I could not understand, bro. Akshaya Patra, how we connected to that Udupi Krishna?
What is Akshaya Patra? Anna distribution, no? So he is called Anna Brahma because he distributes Anna, unlimited. And also later on I heard that Akshaya Patra, the Swamiji who leaves the Paryaya, hands over to the next person. He also hands over one pot with a ladle, spoon, to the incumbent Matadhipati out of the Ashtamats. That pot is called as Akshaya Patra. They call it as Akshaya Patra. Yesterday I came to know, somebody told, we need to authenticate, that actually it is the original pot that Draupadi had. So, that's what I was explaining. Yes, your own question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. What stops one from submissively hearing?
What stops one from submissively hearing? We need to first of all know the, if we don't even know that is a process of getting knowledge. Knowledge about knowledge. How to get knowledge is by submissive hearing. So first you should know that. When you know that, then you will start working how to submissively hear. Because you have an intention. Yeah, I have to get pure absolute truth. So only process is submissive oral reception. One should have full faith that whatever the scriptures are saying is truth. Whatever Guru is saying is absolute truth. So Shraddha is very important. If Shraddha is not there, then you should choose. Before hearing, you should choose whether I can have Shraddha or not. Once you sit to hear, you should have Shraddha, faith, that there is a mystical process that is working. Shraddha, the process of submissive hearing, is not simply hearer and speaker. Behind the hearer, there is parampara. Behind the hearer, his guru, his guru, his guru. There is a line of thought. There is a line that is there. So, unless somebody is represented in that line, you don't go and give Shraddha, you don't hear. So, first you verify whether I can have Shraddha. Once you have Shraddha, then it flows. So, Shraddha is very important. And one is Shraddha. Another is, this Shraddha is disturbed by the mind, which is speculative in nature, always doubting in nature. Faithlessness. Faithlessness disturbs faith. So, for that, you have to practice what you hear, then you get realizations, then your faith strengthens, and you will not be faithless anymore. Because you have to experience also. Even little whatever you get, you have to experience. Therefore, practical devotional service when you do, you will get Shraddha. Your Shraddha will increase. Why it will increase? Because you will see reciprocation happening. It will increase. And even in which Shraddha when you hear, that reciprocation also is experienced. Oh, I understood now. How many years I did not understand. Just one short tuck, I understood. Where did that understanding come from? So much you try to analyze, you did not understand. But one day when you're just hearing in the class, suddenly, I understood. Where did that come from? So you get faith in the process of oral submissive reception. 10 times you read the purport. You analyze so much you did not understand. Close your book. Then after 1 month, simply read once. You'll say, hey, now it is so clear. Because at that time you were over-intellectualizing. You stopped your mind, and now fresh you are simply reading. It struck you, the truth struck you. Grandaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.